Mel. I'm the Vice President of United Sound. I am currently a junior stage manager major and a business administration minor. I started doing United Sound in high school. This is my fourth semester doing it here, I think. Gets a little long because I didn't do it first semester, last semester when I went to Harleston. But welcome to the United Sound Change Lab presentation. So this is what we're going to talk about today. We're just going to kind of get into an intro of really what is United Sound, what our mission is, both as a chapter here on campus as well as kind of nationally what the program is. We're going to look at what our progress is as a chapter on campus, and then we're going to go into mentors and then future and finances. So what is United Sound? So we give music lessons to people with disabilities and special needs. We meet Fridays from 3 to 3:45-ish. A lot of times in New Chapel, but we've had rehearsals in Shanklin and the main studio theater. We also use a classroom in Cranor on occasions. At the end of a semester, we perform with the symphony orchestra or we perform with the band downtown at the Victory Theater. And that's just a little bit kind of an overview. Our mission is, and this is both our mission as a chapter here on campus, but also the mission of United Sound nationally, is that we remove barriers and foster social change through music. We cultivate relationships that resonate. It's one of the slogans of United Sound, actually. And while we're at United Sound concerts and rehearsals, it's like nothing else matters. The world slows down for 45 minutes, and we really get to make those relationships with new people. Friendships are embraced and lifelong memories are made. UE is one of about 9 university chapters of United Sound. There's a lot more high school and middle school chapters, and so it's really important what we do here because we are one of only 9 nationally. We did ask for more specific numbers from United Sound of exactly how many high schools and colleges there are, just in case this map wasn't totally up to date, but we unfortunately never heard back from them. But why is United Sound so important? So here in Evansville, there's an unfortunate lack of programming for people with disabilities above the age of 18. There's Autism Evansville, which is a max age of 21. There's the Hope Bridge Autism Therapy Center, which has an age range of 15 months to 7 years old, and then there's the Applied Behavior Center for Autism, which is just for children. So again, there's not many organizations that really focus on a large age range like we do in United Sound, and there's also a learning gap here in Evansville and with people with special needs above the age of 18 who are either out of high school or out of college and that sort of thing. And this is just some really, really good new information. So on November 7th, United Sound emailed out results to all of us from a year-long study that was published in the Journal of Advances in Mind, Body, and Medicine. The study followed 60 new musicians over the course of a year who were participating in United Sound for the first time. The results from this study are overwhelmingly positive, as you can see here. The lighter colors on the bar graph are their baseline, and then the darker of the same color, which is different shade, is where they ended at the end of that year. But these are the results of other students. What about ours? So I'm happy to report that while we don't use the 10-measure special education student assessment or CESA tool that United Sound was using during this study, we can see these same results in our students. Such as the positive peer interactions, which is that yellow bar, with Jackson, who is this lovely little boy right here. He's really learned how to control his actions this year, specifically with mentors. Any like inappropriate actions that he was once having really turned into hugs and more lighthearted communication by the end of the semester. It was just really nice to see. And we're also seeing this with musicians like Seth, where self-confidence, which is that orange bar, which in the United Sound study increased 18.8% above their baseline. Seth here was such a quiet musician when he first started. I was working with him on one of the semesters teaching, I think tom drum, I want to say, or bongos, and he was very, very quiet when he first started, but now he is so loud and he's so happy to play his instrument all the time, and he's very excited to just showcase his talent at United Sound every week. So with that kind of overview of what we are as kind of this national brand, we're going to get into our mentor roles here at UE. So we do a few main things here. The mentors work with the new musicians, we write the new parts, and then we perform alongside the UE ensemble and our new musicians at the end of the semester. We build the friendships and relationships during those weekly meetings and all of that sort of stuff. But before any rehearsals start and anything like that, at the beginning of the semester, we really take the time to make sure every mentor is trained and knows what the processes are for United Sound and what we like to do. We don't just throw them into the wild, say, here you go, figure it out on your own. There's plenty of training videos and resources on the United Sound website that they really recommend us playing beforehand, which we always do. And if for some reason we have to go for a virtual training, because all of the trainings are online, it's super accessible that way as well, which we have had to do a couple of times. And then I mentioned there's those adaptive parts. So because music is kind of this wild concept that is a little bit convoluted sometimes and sometimes a little hard to understand, the United Sound has broken it down for us with these new rhythms. So half notes turn into soups, quarter notes turn into cakes, eighth notes turn into donuts, and rests stay rests, but they're also called based on what your musician is feeling most comfortable with. Foods are more familiar and easier to remember for all of our musicians. And then our mentors write those adaptive parts, so you can see here that they're not using the actual food symbols anymore. Once these adaptive parts get written, they're using the quarter notes and the half notes and eighth notes and the rests, and by the time we get into really writing this music, all of our new musicians are comfortable enough reading these parts and really understanding what they're looking for. These are pictures of actual parts. I'm not entirely sure what songs they're from, but they are actual parts that were used at a concert, I think more towards the beginning of United Sound. But this is still the same process and layout that we follow today. And then this all culminates in a performance at the end of a semester where we perform alongside one UE ensemble, either the band or the symphony orchestra, or like we did this year where we performed with the symphony orchestra, and then at the end of the concert, the band, the orchestra, and United Sound all went out together at the end, and we all played Sleigh Ride together. United Sound played Jingle Bells. I think it added a great touch. And here is a video of that.
Press it a second time.
Press the what?
The next arrow again.
And then here's just some more pictures. The one of us all in our blue shirts is from this past performance that I think went really, really well for all parties involved. And then the one with them in the white shirts is from the spring semester, I believe. It's very, very encouraging every time we go on stage that we just get such positive feedback from the community. There's over 200 people that attend these concerts. And actually last week I went to class the next day and one of my professors came up to me and said, hey, I saw you guys on stage. Y'all did really well. I just want to say congratulations to you and all of the musicians. So that was very, very encouraging. You've heard me talk a little bit about us playing with both the band or the symphony orchestra, and it's because of kind of a little bit of a high changeover rate with who we have as our music department advisor. So we work with Dr. Steinsaltz and Dr. Sitchi, and then with the orchestra we've worked with Dr. Chen, and then Dr. Gomez, who is our current advisor, who we'll be working with in the spring as well. Right now, our executive board looks like this. President is Emma, who is over there. I'm the vice. Activities coordinator is Maya right here, and then our SGA rep is also Maya. We're changing things up for next semester.
Drum roll. There we go.
Surprise. Executive board for spring 2026. If you're on here, none of this should be a surprise to you. We've already reached out. I will be the president next semester. Emma will unfortunately be leaving us, but she will still be getting messages from me all of the time. Maya will become our new vice, handling all of the logistics, recruitment, all of that super fun stuff. Our activities coordinator is Hadley. She's not here right now, but she is super great. She's a freshman, and I've had the pleasure of working with her both in United Sound and on other events on campus, and I know she's going to do spectacular. Aiden is our new SGA rep, so he'll be in charge of going to those bi-weekly meetings. And then our marketing coordinator is Erica, who is also not currently here, but again, full confidence in these people, and I'm so excited to work with you all next semester. And then of course, we couldn't do what we do without our advisors, so we have Andrew and Dr. Gomez, like we already mentioned. So this is just an overview of all of the timeline things that we've really talked about. We learn, we rehearse, and then we perform, just like any other band or theater or orchestra or choir would do. We try to keep a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio when we're in rehearsals, just so risk management stays happy with us. But it's also because a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio is what United Sound recommends, and it really just makes cultivating those relationships just that more special, because it's like your own little group of friends that you have in those rehearsals each week. Speaking of those rehearsals each week, this is what our rehearsal and kind of semester overview looks like. We've expanded the calendars by creating 2 separate ones, one that we give to all of our new musicians and their caregivers and guardians, and then we have one that's a little bit more detailed for our mentors that have things like Mentor Workday and this presentation on there. Next semester we'll be looking to move this both on paper and online via our Google Calendar, which we'll get into a little bit later. That way it can be just easy on your phone. You don't have to go searching through your email or photos every time to see that. And then while we're in rehearsal, this is kind of what our breakdown looks like. We try to follow this as close as we can. So we have our standard rehearsals and our concert rehearsals. Our standard rehearsals are going to be the ones before we write the adaptive parts and before we get the score from Dr. Gomez. And so from 3 to 3:15, we do an icebreaker led by Maya, and it's usually some form of craft or game. Bingo is super popular. And then from 3:15 to 3:30, we do a small group practice, which is just those individual groups. And then from 3:30 to 3:40, we do a large group practice, which is either doing some form of rhythm activity, playing an exercise from the book, as all of our musicians get the same book and all of the exercises are the same. They're just adapted for whatever instrument you're playing. And then in our concert rehearsals from 3 to 3:15, we do an icebreaker, again, trying to keep as much of the same structure and routine as possible the same. And then from 3:25 to 3:40, we do concert practice. From 3:15 to 3:25, we actually do the concert practice, which is in those small groups, we're working on the concert music instead of just working on the book. And then from 3:25 to 3:40, we're doing the large group practice, which is when we're all coming together and we're playing the concert music. Usually this is led by either Rachel or Dr. Gomez. Thank you, Rachel, for stepping up this semester when Dr. Gomez couldn't make it. And then Maya will also usually play violin, or will have some sort of speaker playing the melody. And that is all from me.
Hey, I'm Emma. This is my last day as president. I don't know the sound. And then it'll be okay. So, we're going to talk about semester prep and what it takes to get United Sound running for the semester. So, first we're going to talk about risk management stuff. I have broken down our risk management documents that we go through because it is such a vital part of United Sound. So first, every semester we fill out the certification of authorized adults. So this begins those background check processes that you guys have to go through. So basically we type in your name, your email, you have to do the child abuse and neglect training on Blackboard, and I fill out all this information, and then we send it to risk management, and they start your background checks. And they also double check me and make sure that you did actually do the Blackboard training. So that's why we have to do that every semester. Then we have the Protection of Children plan. This is a once a year thing in the fall semester. This goes more into ratios, what we're allowed to have with the vulnerable population, liability things such as food and bathroom and transportation, and then more disaster management stuff. What are we going to do if there's a tornado or stuff like that? And then we have our waivers. These also get filled out every single year. We just have them cover the whole year, and this is more liability stuff. It also includes that we can take pictures and post them. Our two risk management people are Kim and Dwayne. Dwayne does more of the background checks, and then everything else pretty much goes through Kim. So I'm going to show these off. I'll let them all get on there. So here's our Gmail. Oh, here, I kept this up so that you could show that we emailed them multiple times asking for numbers about the map. Fortunately, we didn't get them. This is our Gmail. It's labeled into semesters over on the left, so anyone can go through and see past conversations. We've already started for spring of 26 with some new musicians that are going to be participating. Then we have our Google Drive. This is also broken down into semesters, as well as just some overarching documents. It's got all of the risk management, marketing, fundraisers, waivers, curriculum, attendance, maps, pictures. Pretty much anything you could think of is in this Google Drive. And then our President Bible. So Mel and I had a meeting yesterday just to not yesterday, it's not Tuesday. We had a meeting on Monday to kind of transition over and get her into the president role, and this is what we used as our base to go through everything and talk about what has to be done. It's broken down into the fall and spring semesters, so we went through the spring one. But yeah, it's just broken down with everything United Sound. And then our Constitution is the last one I want to show you. This kind of has all of the rules for the university and what we require from our mentors. So it used to include that like you had to be in a university ensemble. That's been taken out. Because we want to be just as inclusive to our mentors as we are to our musicians. Yeah, that gets done every year too. This is our at-home curriculum. So it's a PDF version. Our first one is on the left, and then the very last version, the 8th lesson is here on the right. This gets sent to our musicians after every rehearsal, so we have about 8 rehearsals total, along with a video of me playing these rhythms on my lap, so that our musicians can do some United Sound work at home if they please. It's completely optional. It's not going to set them behind if they don't. Okay, now we're going to talk about our accomplishments. So here's a picture from each semester. We started in fall of 22 in Cranert. It was a horse to do. We had to move these tables and people couldn't get up the stairs, and so we moved into New Chapel in fall of 23. That was honestly such a blessing. We have so much more space in there. And now, in this semester, we were able to have a few rehearsals over in Hyde Hall, in Shanklin, and in May Studios really nice. We very much thank the theater department for that. But I thought this picture was super cool. Also in New Chapel we have new spaces to so I'll show you a picture of that later. Okay, here is Tune Time, which is what the picture you just saw. Tune Time is a fun way for us to get away from music while still using music. So instead of just slamming out our parts and acting like that's all we're gonna do, we play fun games with them. So this is a Mad Lib that Maya created. Well, Maya came up with the bass for the Mad Lib, and then our musicians filled it in. So fun. Never thought I'd be singing about hot dogs, but it's United Sound. So these are our performances since fall of 22 when we started. The green one, Little Drummer Boy, was this semester. We also played a sleigh ride, as Mel said, with the band and the orchestra. Then I wanted to go through the results of our final surveys now that they've been sent out. These were from our mentors. So as you can see, we have all 5s on everything. This was length of meetings, meaningful experience, recommending United Sound, and then communication. Oh, except for that one. And then musicians, all 5s on this one from the same categories. Then I wanted to talk about retention. All of our musicians so far are coming back, and we do have 2 more musicians that will be joining in the spring semester. Then this was whenever we had 14 responses from our mentors on retention, and it was 50-50. And at first this terrified me. But then I kind of dug deeper and I got to looking, and it's either Harlexton, there's another class scheduled, or they're seniors. So senior, 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 4 leaving. That's 4 right there out of the 7. We get to that point now that it was our freshman year when it started. We're gonna kind of have that drop off every semester, but we'll have more people come in. Okay. I'm not worried. Okay, mentors, come on up. You can stand in front of the screen because that's where his phone goes.
You might get blinded though.
You might get blinded. Okay, tell us your name, your year, how long you've been in United Sound, and what you love about it / why you keep coming back. Go for it.
You want to start over there or you want to start?
You can start.
Okay. My name is Maya. I'm a junior music therapy major with a psychology minor. This is my 5th semester being in United Sound, and the reason why I keep coming back is I just love the connection that we all have with our musicians, and it just really brightens my day, like seeing them and just also sharing the love for music that I have with them.
I'm Abby. I'm a senior biology major. This is my 4th semester in United Sound. 3rd, maybe. And the reason I keep coming back is because I'm not a very musical person, but I still feel like I can connect. And it's kind of like its own form of communication with it, and it's just really a cool experience.
My name's Elizabeth. I'm a senior biology with a Spanish major. Biology major, Spanish minor. This is my 4th and final semester with United Sound. I joined mostly because of Emma, my roommate and best friend, encouraged me to join, and I'm so thankful that she did, because I have made so many great connections with students and other mentors, and also just being able to have music as a part of my life on campus, because I don't have it really otherwise. Since at home in high school I did more, but I get to just keep that connection here. So.
I'm Megan. I am a senior exercise science major, and this is my 7th and final semester of United Sound. I've been there since the beginning with Emma. I joined and I keep coming back because I love seeing the musicians just grow and develop throughout the semester, gain so much confidence, and then finally get to perform on the stage and just seeing their smiling faces when they're finished.
My name is Aiden. I'm a sophomore history major, and this is my 3rd semester with United Sound. I joined United Sound because of how important music was to me in my life, and getting to share the joy of music that I had with my musicians is just an extreme blessing that I get to have. And the reason why I keep coming back is of the development of the relationships between the mentors and the musicians, and watching our musicians develop towards that concert is just really, really cool to see.
I'm Anna. I'm a junior music education major, and this is my 4th semester in United Sound. I really love United Sound because it's just so gratifying to be a part of. It's one of the best ways that I could be using my time, and I'm always learning something. I'm learning like a new social skill, or like just getting to know part of my community better, and like as a future music teacher, it's just really valuable to me.
I'm Allie. I'm a sophomore history education literature major. I joined, this is my 3rd semester in United Sound. I joined freshman year because Emma convinced me at the org fair, and I said, sure, why not? And I keep coming back ever since. It's always just something to look forward to at the end of each week, especially if they're having like a very busy or like a tough week.
My name is Rachel. I am a music therapy equivalency student. This is my 3rd semester in United Sound. I have been a member since I have been here at UE. I love working with this population in my past job as a music educator, and I know firsthand how music can help change someone's life for the better, and just working with this population is a lot of fun, and it kind of, it brightens your day, it brightens your week. Everything that we do and the connections that we make are always worthwhile.
I'm Lawrence. I'm archaeology and art sophomore. This is my 3rd semester in United Sound, and I've stayed in United Sound as I like to see our musicians be happy and feeling accomplished, and that's maybe why I keep coming back, so they can feel more of that.
I'm Peter. I'm almost a junior. I'm a sophomore music education major, psychology minor. And I joined United Sound because I wanted to work with an underappreciated population. Being a music educator, you work usually in public schools, so being able to work with like disabled people is just, it's amazing, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
I'm Hannah. I'm sophomore biology major. I mostly joined because of Annie King. She encouraged me to join. I keep coming back because of the meaningful connections I've made over the semester. Also, working with different populations have helped me in my job as an EMT.
Great. Thank you, guys. Let's just sit back. Put this back.
Each of you are so valuable to United Sound, and I'm glad to keep coming back. So we can look at more of our statistics. So our different majors and minors for this semester, we had 26 of them. As you heard all of them say, many of them are not music related. And I think it just really shows who United Sound is on campus. We have tripled in size since we began in fall of 22. So we started with 4 musicians and 9 mentors. And this semester we had 12 musicians and 31 mentors. And I hope we keep seeing that growth. And we're going to talk about the future of United Sound and finances. So here's the Christmas break goals. Mel and I went through these yesterday. So Mel is going to continue transitioning. She's going to work on the spring 26 calendars. Not yesterday, Monday. Jeez. Confirm mentor and musician participation for those that did not fill out the final survey. Prep all of the new forms and spreadsheets. Create new group meets and Google contacts. Update our UEngage page. And then solidify the give back for next semester. Speaking of our UEngage, here's our UEngage. So when you open it up, that's the first thing you see. And then you're able to click into the gallery and see about 10 pictures from each semester. So you can see how we've grown there as well. Also on our UEngage is thank you posts, so you're able to actually make, we kind of call them like news articles, but we just make thank you posts to our donors every semester. It's more applicable in the fall semester whenever we're actually doing our fundraising, but then we also try and give out handwritten cards because I do believe they're more meaningful. Okay, Change Lab, that's why you're all here today. So there's 14 students in this fall semester. You were able to take it for 0 or 1 credit hours, and that will be continued next semester. We do always highly encourage it, and for accountability in Change Lab, we created this document. As I was reviewing it on Sunday, I do think it has really worked out for us. There's just specific dates that you have to make sure you're at, and then a small final essay, which you all completed, thank you very much. And then you can get kind of like extra credit by helping set up at rehearsals or being on exec and fulfilling all your duties. So Change Lab is very, very helpful to us, and I think it's helpful to you guys as well. Okay, finances. Our wish list is shorter than it has been in the past because we have been getting more and more established. So just more instruments, specifically percussion. Bongos are a really good starter instrument for our musicians, so probably more bongos. Carriers and cases so that we can keep the longevity of our instruments. And we need more construction paper. And then funding, we have a donation link on our Change Lab website. Friends of UE Music gives us a lot of money every semester. Change Lab buys things for us a lot, and then SGA also funds us. And then whenever we have give backs, that is in our university account. Okay, here's our funding breakdown. Are you happy, Andrew?
I've been waiting for this.
This is the start of the show, the presentation. Change Lab provided us these bedazzled office supplies. They're very useful. I used them the other day. But we have hole punchers, folders. You know those nice folders you guys got? Yeah, that's Change Lab. All sorts of office supplies. SGA covers kind of more of the background stuff. So our background checks and registration fees for both mentors and new musicians. Those are $35 each, and background checks are $55 each. So that would be a big expense if we asked everyone to cover those themselves. And then Friends of UE Music kind of does more of the fun stuff, so any instrument needs that we have, as well as our mentor work days, mentor dinners, refreshments for those sorts of things. Here's our financial record from this semester. We're doing quite well. We haven't been billed for the background checks yet, so love to see that. Yeah, it's there. It's a record. Here's our mentor dinner.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry. Everyone was eating and I just snapped it. We were watching a movie at the same time. It was delicious though. Highly recommend the Olive Garden mentor dinner. Here's the extra space in New Chapel that I was talking about. So this is our room. We've labeled it as ours. We have a key for it, so it's official. But all of our instruments are in here. All of our, I like to call it my office. That's basically our office over there, and then our arts and crafts supplies. We have an instrument organization list. So first we just have how many instruments we have so that we know the max number of musicians we could have in the semester. Then we break it down further into how many of them we have, where they came from, who funded them, and then when did we get them. Friends of UE Music specifically likes to have this breakdown so that they know how their funds are actually being used. This is a quote from this semester's surveys from Tammy Callums. So her kids are Christina and Brian, so the two that I'm on either side of. She said, "It has been a blessing to my kids. They have really enjoyed it and look forward to it. They are so proud of themselves for playing an instrument. I thank you very much for this opportunity for them." And I just think that was very encompassing of how our caregivers feel, and then a reflection of our musicians. That's the end. And once we're done with questions, I have something for Andrew. But that's the end.
I love this class. I love it what you all do. It is incredibly special. Being able to